Let's talk about the movie script. You know, that document that's famously one of the riskiest, most high-stakes assets in all of Hollywood. Well, what if it could be turned into something more? Something like a multi-platform storytelling engine. There's a startup, and we're going to call it N-Style for this explainer, that's doing exactly that. They're totally rewriting the rules of what a screenplay can be. So let's get into it.
It really all comes down to this one simple but honestly pretty profound question. What if a screenplay wasn't just the end-all be-all blueprint for one single crazy expensive project? What if it could be something else entirely? Something that has a life of its own way before any cameras ever start to roll.
To really get why that question is such a game changer, we first have to look at the old way of doing things. The traditional path a screenplay takes is, well, it's a narrow, brutal, and incredibly risky road that, let's be honest, most stories just don't survive.
For decades, this has been the standard definition. A screenplay is seen as a tool, right? A piece of technical writing, and its only job is to get a movie made. It has no value on its own. It's just one step in a much, much bigger and more expensive process.
And here's what that traditional process looks like. A writer pours their heart into a script, they pitch it, and then they just hope. Hope a studio will be willing to gamble millions of dollars on it. The audience doesn't see a thing until the very, very end of this funnel. And here's the crucial flaw in the whole system. The huge majority of scripts just die, right there, between the pitch and the funding.
This right here is the fundamental problem. The whole model is a high-risk, high-return bet. There is no way to build an audience, or test the concept, or generate any kind of early revenue. You're basically asking investors to put up millions of dollars based on, well, on the script and a prayer.
But what if you could change all that? This is where N-Style comes in. They looked at that totally broken model and decided to just rewrite the entire process, transforming that screenplay from a rigid, static blueprint into a living, growing seed. This quote gets right to the heart of their whole philosophy. Think about it. A seed doesn't just create one single plant. It has the potential to grow an entire ecosystem. That shift in perspective is absolutely the key here. The script becomes the source code, the DNA, for a whole universe of content.
Let's just put these side by side, because the difference is crystal clear. The old way, a huge risk on one single product. The new way, phased de-risking. The old way, you build a fandom after the movie comes out. With this new way, you build a fandom from day one. The writer isn't just a contractor anymore. They're an IP owner. And success isn't just one big hit. It's the entire ecosystem.
So how does this actually work in practice? They call it the IP ladder. It's brilliant. A story starts as a screenplay ebook. If it finds an audience, if people like it, it climbs to the next rung, an audiobook, then maybe a webtoon, then an animation. A full-blown movie is the final step, and it's only attempted after the story has proven its market value every single step of the way. Each rung on that ladder builds the fandom and de-risks the next big step.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but this isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. N-Style has spent over a decade building the foundation for this exact model. They've actually proven that it works with their own portfolio of original stories. Over 14 years, the company's founder developed a core portfolio of 8 feature-length, genre-focused screenplays. So this isn't a one-off attempt. It's a whole, carefully curated universe of intellectual property, all ready to start climbing that ladder.
And the stories themselves are fantastic. For example, you've got Fog. It's a mystery thriller about a girl with psychometry. That's the power to see an object's past just by touching it. So she finds out her mother's death wasn't an accident and uses this crazy gift to hunt down the killer. I mean, come on!
Or how about this for a hook? In Nest, a serial killer confesses to his crimes, but he has no idea why he did it. So he makes this dark pact with a detective. He'll help close the case if the detective can uncover his own twisted motive. That's just wild.
And then there's Another Hometown, a psychological thriller where two friends are locked in this brutal cycle of revenge, and then suddenly, they swap bodies. They're forced to relive the very events that tore them apart, chasing each other through a shared, nightmarish past. You can already see how these stories would thrive as books or audio dramas or webtoons.
So, what does this all mean for the bigger picture? This isn't just about one company's success. It's really a potential blueprint for a healthier, more creator-focused entertainment industry.
The key benefits are pretty clear. This model de-risks film production by building a loyal fan base first. It elevates the screenplay itself into valuable, standalone IP. It creates all these different revenue streams from a single idea. And maybe most importantly, it empowers creators to become entrepreneurs.
And that's really where this whole thing started.
In an age of endless platforms, from YouTube to webtoons to podcasts, the old way of just writing for film just doesn't make sense anymore. This model was created to prove a writer's true value in this new media landscape.
And this is the powerful takeaway. It's no longer enough to just be an artist. To survive and really thrive, creators have to think like entrepreneurs. They need a business model for their creativity. InStyle isn't just selling stories, it's selling a new way for creators to think about their own work.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. The traditional model is designed to fund movies. This new model, it's designed to fund worlds. Just imagine what new worlds will be built when every writer has the blueprint not just for a single story, but for their own entire universe.